Two of our company's lowest performers just got promoted. Literally bottom of the bottom, no awards, no contest wins, no extracurriculars, and both have dry-ass personalities. Our stats get published publicly in the company it's sales, so that's how I know. Furthermore, their education is completely irrelevant to the job, and one of them just graduated uni and has barely worked for the company 1 year. And now they make more than me and another top performer I'm friends with. Both of us with 5 years experience with far more qualified education backgrounds. We'd only surpass them if we worked our ass off for commission. Meanwhile, they can sit on their ass all day and will always get an amazing base salary. I have come to realize that promotions can literally have nothing to do with how well you can perform. Absolutely fucking nothing. If you get a promotion, I'm assuming nothing about your ability from a meritocratic standpoint. Absolutely nothing. Fuck corporate bureaucracy. The deadwood floats to the top. Nobody wants to promote the best salespeople into roles where they will not be selling anymore. It is very common that the people promoted into roles where they don't have to sell are not very good at selling. Top performers are too expensive to promote. Also, less cynically, the qualities that make a good leader aren't necessarily related to being good at the position they're managing. Which is why I don't think management should be paid more than people. Jobs that produce should be high paid. Fuck up, move up. Yes, if you are good at your job and they are making a bunch of money off you doing that job, they are going to keep you in that position. If you are competent at your job, big raises and promotions come easiest by leaving and getting a different, better job somewhere else. Welcome to corporate. The good news is that you are learning this rigged game early on. Took me years. If you are not replaceable, you are not promotable. Normal for sales, get used to it. You can make more money than them by staying in sales. This literally kills companies in the long run. Promoting the lowest performers destroys company morale and everyone with more ability bails. So at least 5 years later there is karmic justice for it usually. A term I recently learned at my job after a lady that catastrophically failed leading her small department was made senior director, overseeing a department 4x times bigger than the one she failed at. Fail upwards. It's my new favorite term for corporate affairs. The Peter Principle. At least if everyone quits, they will finally be the top performers by default. If you have good performance and productivity, you will not get that promotion. The boss needs you in that position, so he will not have to hire 2 more new people to do that damn job. Tau hybvi usli lndthfinrtfdksukking. Cream and scum both float to the top. Sounds like judgment to me. There is definitely more to the story here, lol. I love the vague one-sided posts that only show part of the story to farm karma. Pretty standard. For 9 years I got rock-solid reviews and was the guy to get shit done in my lab. Every time there was an opening for a leadership role, they gave it to morons who left their teams to flounder. Eventually I left and they are broken beyond repair, last I heard. Can't promote top performers. You make yourself too valuable for the role. They lose you, they need to explain the shortfall. Being too good at your job is often worse than being mid, as your value for promotion is limited while removing you from your role would leave negative shortfalls. Now might be a good opportunity to renegotiate your compensation package. They've just showed their hand. If you continue to be a top performer, you obviously don't have any avenue of advancement. So you should get compensated better where you are. Also start looking for a new position for leverage. Sounds like good old nepotism to me. If yes, nothing unusual. Bad, but here we are. It's very simple, really. Those 2 low performers swallow on the they have large, they have dirt on the are related to the bosses. If it took you this long to realize America isn't a meritocracy, ironically, never getting promoted would be evidence for it. They must have watched Office Space. This has never been a meritocracy. The Dilbert principle is when ineffective people get promoted to management to get them out of the productive workflow. I've said it before, and I'll say it again, shit, especially bullshit, flows down and gets distributed, convenient incompetence gets promoted. Lowest performers are usually hardest ass lickers. They have management written all over them, fail upwards. Those that can't manage, I call it failing up. There's always someone in a company who failed their way into a promotion. Repeat this in your head like a mantra so you never forget it. If you're indispensable, you're unpromotable. So they promoted Andy to manager. And White is still just a random salesman. And the smart people are jumping ship. Both have dry-ass personalities. The absolute horror. If you're good at your job, you don't get promoted. That would make things harder for everyone else management. But promoting deadweight has almost no effect on the work, short of the morale hit the rest of the team takes. Never do more than your base duties. Be friendly, be helpful, but never more than you are required to do. It's not always what you know, it's who you know is some of the truest advice I have ever received. Are you actually shocked? It has always been who you know or are fucking or are related to. I have seen some real lazy motherfuckers get promoted and all they did was have others do their work while they play video games etc. But at some point, if they are not related to or fucking the guy at the top, they might get fired because usually they fuck up so bad that the owner has no other option than to fire them. I kinda feel like this post is inspirational. It makes me want to work less and be a worse employee. Come promotion time they know where I am. Well, they know there's a note on my desk that says I'll be back in 5 minutes and that note have been there for 45 minutes. But when they eventually get a hold of me, that's when I'll be ready to work even less for more money. You, my friend, are too valuable to production. Let me guess, they are the same race as the promoter. High performers don't get promoted since your manager needs you in your current role to hit their targets. These people got promoted to get them out of the way. Or because of nepotism. I'm going to assume that you work your butt off and don't kiss your manager's ass. Meanwhile, I bet they schmooze with management. So now you've learned an important lesson. It's not what you know or how hard you work, it's who you know. Were they affirmative action hires? They have to advance, no matter what. Fuck up, move up. AITA boys are erased daily. Oh shits pile up for years. Friends of management get what they beg for. Work hard to be hard stuck. The unfortunate reality, and it'll never change. As someone who worked for the UK government and who has been on both sides of the interview process as much as I hate it, interviewers, namely HR recruiters, don't give a toss about meritocracy at work. Rather about how well someone does in their interview. Also other factors like nepotism, favoritism and discrimination play a part, albeit not overtly. I was laid off from said government job last year, as were pretty much all the top performers. However, it was interesting to note that the employer only retained staff from a certain demographic. Alternatively, people who weren't good at their jobs got moved into positions they'll hopefully be more suited toward. Your two deadweight salesmen might be wizards with paperwork and spreadsheets. Sounds like they probably have better people skills. You sound like you'd be terrible to work under Lamau. What a bunch of jealous assholes in this thread. Bring it up with your boss. They made the promotion decision. Don't shit on your coworker who's just trying to make a living. They got promoted and you come to hate and bully on Reddit. I'm sure you are so much better. Both have dry-ass personalities. There's your answer right there. You, as a salesperson, probably color outside the lines sometimes. They're probably terrified of the corporate boundaries, and will therefore enforce them completely. Imagine if they would get rid of the low performers and hire more competent people, then there will be competent people at the top and bottom. All this can be solved with communism. We have to have for communism or socialism. We can do this. We're all in this together.